Myer has come to the rescue of fashion labels David Lawrence and Marcs 2 months after the company which owned them collapsed. Grappling with the invasion of international brands and with sagging sales, analysts say Myer had to act to stop $10 million in sales walking out the door. However, the employment outlook for staff at David Lawrence and Marcs doesn't look good because Myer won't be taking over the leases of more than 50 existing stores. Here's Andrew Robertson.
I was delighted and impressed. So impressed, I bought the company.
It was a line made famous nearly 40 years ago by Remington owner Victor Kiam. But it's a strategy Myer has followed today to try to shore up its position in the competitive world of fashion.
The choice set is lose David Lawrence and Marcs, then they lose that revenue with no apparent substitute in those particular sectors.
That's nearly $10 million in revenue Myer can't afford to lose in an environment where sales are falling again. With David Lawrence and Marcs in administration and no other buyer coming forward, Myer acted to protect itself.
We've seen a decline in fashion sales in the last few years, driven by the effect of globalised retailers like Zara, H&M, Uniqlo, a lowering of the average price point, a competitive marketplace. So every dollar spent by Australian consumers in Myer is extremely valuable to Myer.
The most recent figures from the Bureau of Statistics show just how valuable. Spending on clothing fell $280 million in the year to January 2016. At the same time, foreigners like Zara, Uniqlo, H&M and Amazon grew their revenue by $159 million. To get people to spend is getting tougher, and Myer needs the right products like its high street fashion labels David Lawrence and Marcs, something Myer boss Richard Umbers articulated when he appeared on The Business last year.
The offer that we've got needs to resonate with them, and if we get that right and we have the customer coming back to our stores after maybe a decade, coming back for the first time, we want to wow them. We want them to stay with us and stay with us for the future.
David Lawrence and Marcs' sales were around $100 million a year, and they employed around 1,200 staff in their 200 stores and smaller outlets in Australia and New Zealand. For most of those people, the future isn't looking bright. Myer is buying the merchandise and intellectual property and not the stores.
At best, Myer is likely to keep open several strong performing stores of the Marcs and David Lawrence brands, largely to maintain some sort of brand prominence in the wider retail sector, but it's still likely that the majority of Marcs and David Lawrence stores will close.
Hovering in the background is Myer's new biggest shareholder, Solomon Lew, a man who sells many of his own fashion labels through Myer. IBIS World's Andrew Ladowski doubts Mr. Lew would have any concerns with today's announcement.
Whether or not there was an ulterior motive in terms of performing some sort of defensive action against Solomon Lew's acquisition, I think it's still too early to say, and it's unclear.
The big loser from Myer's purchase of David Lawrence and Marcs will be arch-rival David Jones. With Myer now in control of the two fashion labels, DJ's days of selling them will soon be over.
Hi, my name is Brian Walker, CEO and founder of Retail Doctor Group. Retailing today is about changing faster than your competitors. Contact us on retaildoctor.com.au to see how the leaders do it.